Hey girl, and welcome to this episode of Empowering Women with Celeste. And today I'm talking to Lauren, who is a Heartset and Mindset coach who helps people release their limiting beliefs. So, release these negative beliefs we have about who we are, who we should be, how we should be, what we can do, if we're good enough. All of those thoughts basically that you have about yourself is a belief that you have received from your parents, from your school, from everywhere. So she's talking to us about these beliefs and how we can release them, how we can start living from our heart, from who we are, and not from these beliefs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Yeah, so Lauren, tell us about who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. So I am an intuitive success mentor. Well, what does that mean, right? So, what I have, my gift is the gift of vision, and I'm able to go into the subconscious mind and see what is going on in there, see what is ready to be released, because so many times people don't even know the thoughts that are floating around in there. And by the time you're 35 years old, you are just having those thoughts that are in your subconscious mind whirling around and around, and you don't even know half the time what those thoughts are that are coming up. So we reveal a lot of those thoughts for you, and we release them energetically, which is a wonderful thing. And I work with people's heart set and their mindset, and that to me is the whole being. You can't just work with mindset. You've got to bring heart set in. And so what is heart set? Heart set is where we have the vulnerability of our emotions that sits in our hearts. And what else sits in there? Our intuition is there. Our truth is there. And most people don't want to spend a whole lot of time in their hearts. They want to go in there, love someone like their spouse, their partner, their friends, their family members, and then they want to bounce back out because it's too vulnerable. So we'll sit in here. But if you can go in there and get into that vulnerability and know that there is fear around it, which is what I help people do, and start to dissipate the wall of fear. And when you step over that threshold, when we bring the fear away, you step into freedom, and you can feel it throughout your body. And so from that standpoint, we start seeing that part of a person. And then we bring mindset principles in to help bolster the direction of this freedom that we are now exploring. It's wonderful work. I have huge passion around it to help people live beyond this box of beliefs that they've been carrying around. And a lot of those beliefs aren't even true. They were put in as a child, and we don't have to live by those rules.
Mm. So you're talking about freedom, so freedom from beliefs. And so why should we do that? Why is it important to me to know that, yeah, I have some beliefs, but maybe I'm okay with it. But so when you release them, what is on the other side?
Right. So let's step back for just a second. The subconscious mind is an open book until you're about 7 years old. So anybody can throw in there whatever they want, and then it gets kind of locked in. So I call it a box of beliefs and thoughts. And so you take those beliefs and thoughts that might not, maybe what somebody put in there is not, doesn't really resonate with you, but you keep going along living inside this box. And when some of those beliefs and some of those thoughts, as I said, you're not even consciously aware of. So when we start bringing some of those subconscious thoughts to the surface, those thoughts that don't serve you, those thoughts that are limiting and those beliefs that are limiting to you, and you sit in those and you throw fear on top of it. So you just stay in there. It's like,
So
wait a minute,
could
you're worth so much more than that.
could you give us a few examples of these beliefs? Like what beliefs, what are negative beliefs and
Right. Okay. So a negative belief would be one where a person is, this is very simple. Oh, I'm really afraid to be in the dark. And that's something they've brought from childhood. So do you really want to be afraid? Do you want to keep holding on to being afraid to be in the dark? Or do you want to release that? Or let's say your mother instilled in you and gave you the belief that you weren't very good at spelling words. Oh, you're not good at that. You're not good at this. But actually, you are. But you carried that around throughout your life, believing, oh, I'm not very good at spelling. Oh, I'm not very good at being athletic. There's a multitude of things. So why would you want to live with those limiting beliefs? Because what happens with those beliefs, whatever they are, and those thoughts, they limit you. They keep you down. And when we're able to start releasing those, we feel that sense of clarity in our hearts. You feel the shift energetically in your body. Like, I just feel lighter, because every thought and every belief a person has carries an energy vibration. So do you want to live in a lower vibration, or do you want to live in a higher vibration?
so could you, to the people who don't know anything about vibration, could you just very quickly describe that?
Sure. So when you get around someone, a really good one is somebody who has a lot of powerful energy. So it could be like a dictator who, when they show up in the room, everybody's feeling the intensity of that. Or let's say you get around somebody who's really angry, and they might not have said anything yet about their anger, but you feel that anger coming in. That's energy. Or you get around someone like, let's say the Dalai Lama, he doesn't even have to open his mouth. You get in that man's presence and you just feel like you're in your heart, because he radiates this really positive, beautiful love energy, and people just really feel it. And again, he doesn't have to say anything. So that's energy. We are all walking energy fields. That's scientifically proven. And we carry our energy down to the subatomic level of our cells.
So you could say energy equals vibration.
I can say that energy is measured by vibration.
Okay.
So anger is a low vibration word, and it brings up an emotion, right? So if you fall in love with someone, you're in this high vibration. There are some hormones that kick in, like dopamine, but we won't go down that road. But the energy around that is you're just high.
Yeah. So like kind of like your body is vibrating
At a higher level.
Yeah.
You feel that energy. Yes. Or let's use a simple example. You get around a really close friend, and you're looking forward to being with that person. Why? Because your energy is in a similar place and you want to be with that person. So let's say that you know two people. One is your really good friend, and you have these good times together, and you stay in this positive space, which is positive energy. And then you know somebody else, let's say it's a coworker, or maybe somebody you work for, that is a negative person. and they're constantly saying negative things, it starts to wear you down and it brings your energy level down. So do you see the difference from that
Yes.
perspective?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
So releasing these negative beliefs, like you said, will raise your vibration.
Yes. So we start releasing that, and we use mindset principles to help instill a different way to believe and to create thoughts that serve us, to give us this freedom, to give us this sense of this higher vibration. That's all internal. That's internal work that we do. When you start doing that internally and your energy vibration raises up, you start attracting people into your life that are in that higher vibration. And that is a lovely way to live. So there are, and we all have people in our lives that are more in a lower vibration, and it's draining. It actually sucks our energy.
Yeah.
To be around those people. And you've heard this expression where, oh, they've just taken my light. Right? But we actually, as we start working with this more and owning it and understanding it, we don't have to let that happen. We can be around those negative people. Sometimes you're forced into it, like in a work environment or whatever.
Yeah.
You can start putting up these buffers where their energy cannot go into your energy field. But most people aren't aware of the power of energy.
Yeah.
So they just go out, start their day, and start getting beaten up by other people's energy coming in. And you don't have to. You have a choice to shift that and not let people sort of cross your line. You don't have to say it with words. It's just like, oh, I don't care. You say within, I don't want to have that energy around me. I'm not going to let it into my field.
Yeah, because basically we just all want to be happy, right? So that's one of the ways.
Happy, and that's a wonderful thing. But part of that happiness and how I define that is you want to push yourself. You want to explore how to live that life where you keep raising that vibration, because it feels really good. Once you start connecting with that and living more from your heart, which is what I teach, it starts feeling really good to be in your heart instead of feeling vulnerable. It's like, hey, the heart is a really powerful tool, just like the mind is a really powerful tool. We want to use both. We want to have the whole being work together. So we work to open that part of your heart that feels too vulnerable. And when we open that and start getting on the other side of the wall of fear to the freedom, woo, life changes in a very positive way. And we use that part. We decide, we get to determine, oh, do I want to be in my heart right now? Or do I need to be in the critical part of my thinking? You get to choose.
But mostly it's living from the heart, isn't it?
Living from the heart is a pretty fabulous way to live.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
And learning how to do that. There are these different steps on how to do that, and it involves fear and letting go of fear, and it involves shifting your energy, and they are hand in hand.
And so you also talked about attraction. Now I've been studying a lot about law of attraction and things like that. So you could also attract like a partner, soulmate, money, houses, and all of those other things when you raise your vibration, right?
You absolutely can. And that's part of what you just described is also the mindset. So we don't want to throw the mind out. And that's why I work with people to use both. So you can bring into your life what it is that you want. You can manifest what it is that you want. And that is the law of attraction. And we can sit here and talk about the outer parts of the law of attraction, which, oh, all I have to do is think that I want this, or all I have to do is create a vision board, and that's all good. But there's stuff underneath those beliefs and thoughts that sit in the box that say, oh, really? I don't think so. You might have a vision board, but we're holding tight to this. So you got to go deeper.
Yeah, because they're subconscious, so you won't know they're there. You just know that you can't go there, that you feel stuck, or this is not happening the way I want it to.
Yes.
It's something subconscious, something we don't know about.
That's exactly right. And what I do is help people get unstuck.
So could you tell us a few of those steps or tools that you use to help people do that?
So I teach people first how to go into their hearts. And a very simple way to do that is a breathing exercise that I teach. Did I walk through that with you before, a breathing exercise?
No, I don't think so. No.
Sure. So you can do that in about 20 seconds, and it's very powerful. And I'm happy to walk you through it if you'd like.
Please, yes.
And before we do that, I encourage people to do this before they even get out of bed, before they open their eyes, because when you wake up in the morning, you immediately start thinking about either what you have to do, or you start beating yourself up mentally, or stress and worry come in. It's like, I'm going to pause. And the night before I go to bed, I'm going to have the intention of, when I awaken in the morning, I'm going to do this breathing exercise before I even get out of bed. I want to start my day in my heart. So here we go.
Is it something that you could do in the evening also? Because I've learned that the way you end your evening is also the way you start your day.
So if that's what you tell yourself, and that's what you believe, then that's what's going to happen. So certainly before you fall asleep, you want to be in your heart. You don't want your head spinning around with all these thoughts, right? You want to go into a heart space. And also, when you are in a heart space, those thoughts aren't there. It's a form of meditation, frankly. So if you would like to do it, it's super easy. Yes. And so you would uncross your legs and arms. You want to have freedom throughout, and close your eyes for a moment.
Do you have to reach the floor? Because I'm so small, so I can't reach the floor when I'm sitting on a chair.
Have to be on the floor. So your feet do not have to be on the floor. That's okay. I appreciate you saying that, though. It's super simple. So go ahead and close your eyes. And take a deep breath in and hold. And as you breathe out, imagine that you're breathing out through your heart. Once again, take a deep breath in and hold. And breathe out through your heart. And do that once again, a deep breath in and hold. Breathing out through the heart. And with your eyes closed, breathe normally, but still imagine you're breathing through your heart, and feel, don't think, feel how your heart is connected to the rest of your body. So like for you, I'm feeling tingling going down your legs right now, and that's an energy release. And I know you feel that. And you feel very peaceful. There are no thoughts. You feel that lovely space of just being. And this is how you can start your day. So you're actually releasing, because I know when a person's in their heart and when they're in their head. You can open your eyes now. And I felt some energy being released through your body. It was going down through your legs. Did you feel that?
I did feel something, yeah.
Yeah. And so as you start to get in touch with that more, you will start to be more aware of that energy that goes on within your body. So that took a very short period of time. And you went to this lovely heart space, and you felt the peace there.
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't hear the chatter,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this. I encourage people to start doing it with their eyes closed. But boy, once you start getting that down, you can do this when you're driving. You just start breathing through your heart.
Yeah, when you're busy at work and you just need a few seconds to
Sure.
calm down. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And like if you're somebody who's on the computer all day, you just kind of pull back, take your hands away, close your eyes like we did with you, and do that exercise. And the more you do it, the more you start living there.
Mm-hmm.
And it drops your stress, and it does raise your vibration.
So anytime you feel panic, stressful, fearful, all of those things, it's a great way to come back. Yeah.
Yes. And it's also a way of redefining those neural pathways. And what do I mean by that? So let's say you go to work and you immediately start feeling some anxiety because these things are expected of you. So you've already created this neural pathway of, I associate work with anxiety. I associate work with some panic. I associate work with stress. It's like, I am going to redefine that. I don't want to feel those things when I go to work. I want to feel that I am in a more peaceful place. When your mind is stressed out, you don't think clearly. You just don't. Everything gets very tight. And when you're in that stressful place, you're mostly responding to the outside instead of going in and feeling this peace and getting intuitive hits. Right? To whatever problem you need to solve, but allowing yourself to have that kind of space where you decide, I'm going to keep the stress on the outside of this space. I choose to live my life this way. And it is well within each person to start shifting that.
Yeah, just take a breath. Exactly. Because when you start to feel stressful and anxious, it's a automatic response, right? Because like you say, it's subconscious and it's in your brain. So
yeah, you've created that neural pathway that let's say, oh, this is my new job that I'm going to start. And you're all excited to start the new job. And then after the first week or after the first few days, you're feeling the stress, and what you thought was going to be this turns out to be that. And it's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so you're trying to stay calm inside, but to allow yourself to take those moments, and you get up and walk around and do that breathing exercise. Whatever you need to dial you into being in that space. And the more you do it, the stronger it becomes. It becomes a way of life for you. So that's just a very simple exercise that I teach people. It's very powerful. I know you felt it. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of breath work.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, and I don't know if you've done the one where you breathe through your heart, but it's a very different kind of dynamic because your heart is a really powerful tool. It's a big energy center in your body.
Yeah, I think I've read somewhere that the cells in your heart is like the cells in your brain. So your heart is actually like its own thinking being.
Absolutely, it is.
So your heart is smart.
Your heart is very smart. And again, you want to use the tool. Why wouldn't you? It's right there.
So now you say, why wouldn't you? What are some reasons why you wouldn't? Because you know there's a long way from knowing something and actually doing it.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you? Because you've got those box of beliefs and thoughts. So when you were a small child and you grew up in a house filled with love and filled with the idea of possibility, you're going to carry that with you into adulthood. That becomes your thoughts and beliefs. Put those in the box. If you were a small child and you grew up in a house where your parents lived more in fear, where they lived more in lack, where they lived more in being critical, which is here, and that you're not good at this, you're not good at that. They were negative with you. There goes that box of beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Great.
You get to control what goes in there, though. And most people just go along with their lives with that stuff in there that doesn't necessarily serve them.
Mm. Yeah, and then it can turn into stress, and it can turn into depression, and it can turn into a lot of other things.
And it does.
Exactly. Okay, right. So, yeah, we've been through some freedom, negative beliefs. And so, yeah, I was thinking about the breath work. It's also because beliefs are so subconscious, and like you say, we have a reaction to all of it. So, it's also like a kind of snap you out of it, getting you back centered and feeling what you want to do, feeling you. And
Feeling
knowing
you
what
and
is.
really deciding in what you're talking about, what lens do I want to view the world? How do I want to navigate? Do I want to use the lens that my parents used? Do I want to use the lens that a teacher said something to me when I was a child that has stayed with me? Do I want that power over me? We don't want to live through somebody else's lens. We want to live through our own.
Mm.
And it is within us to do that.
Exactly. And then we have dreams. I'm very ambitious and I have big dreams.
Yeah.
So these beliefs are things that are actually stopping us from reaching that. In my case personally, it was the belief that I didn't think I could do it. I didn't even think it was possible.
Yeah.
So I grew up also in a low class income family. So I didn't even know all of these things were real or were possible.
Yeah.
So that's a change of belief, and also that you
Huge.
think that you're not good enough or you're not worthy of whatever
That's
you
right.
want.
That's right.
When you change that, like you say in your way, when you change your vibration, that is when you can actually start to get it.
Well, and to live in the world of possibility.
Because it's possible for everyone.
It's truly possible for everyone.
Mm.
Everyone. If you grew up in a difficult environment, I did. I grew up in a very difficult environment. And I just decided as I continued through the work that I do, wait a minute, I don't have to live that way. I get to decide. And that's a big fear for people, because I just want to add this in. You might have this box of, what you do have a box of beliefs and thoughts that don't serve you, but you stay in there even though it doesn't serve you, but it's what you know.
It feels safe.
And it feels, you've told yourself that it feels safe to be there because it's what you know. Wow.
So when you first start to change those, everything is possible.
Everything is possible. And that's when we start going into mindset. So we release these things that you've been carrying emotionally, which is very heart-based. And then we back up that shift with mindset principles.
Because it's your mind, we call it ego, I think most of us, that are telling you things that you can't do it, you're not good enough.
Well, ego is really based in showing other people, being showy to other people because you're insecure inside. So, oh, look, I have this way cool car and I have this and I have that, for example. That's somebody who's feeling really insecure within themselves. That's somebody who has a lot of fear within.
Right. I don't remember what I said about that, but I think it was great. Okay, so anything here in the end that you just want to share with people watching?
I want to share that becoming aware of your own thoughts. And do they serve you? Start listening. You can listen to those thoughts. You can observe, like a scientist, their whole job is observation. They don't get to have an opinion. They only get to observe. So they observe, they create theories from their observations, right? And so I want to leave people with observe. Don't judge. You don't get to judge. Observe. And then determine, is that really what I want to believe? That thought that just came in. Wow. Does that make sense?
I don't know what's going on in the background, but something is crazy. Anyway, we're about to get done. So yeah, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
For
I
sharing.
hope this is helpful to your audience and that they were able
Me
to pick
too.
up some things to learn and make some shifts in their lives.
And it's always, well, I also always say it's always great to watch things again, because every time you watch it, you learn something new, you get some new insight.
So true.
So yeah, and like you say, if you don't implement, you will never get the result.
Right.
Okay, well, yeah, let's say thank you for Lauren, and thank you for you listening, and we will see you again very soon. Bye.
Bye.